part of what you helped me to realize, Malika, is that at one point I was trying to do too many things at once.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be a guest on my channel.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. And might
Yes.
I say, you are out here saving all the lives.
You're too funny. To get started, are you on a path to financial independence, would you say?
I am. I am. I've been saving in my 403B for over 10 years now, ever since I became a full-time employee with my current employer, because I started off as a temp. Just recently, I participated in your coaching program. And so
Yes.
I've also opened up a Roth IRA since the last time you saw me. And as I was saying on your live yesterday, I opened it up with $1.
Because it doesn't cost you anything to get started by simply opening the account.
Exactly, exactly. So let me flesh that out a little bit.
Okay.
What I didn't mention was, when we were in your coaching program, you gave us homework, right? And that was one of the things that we needed to do, whatever it was that we were planning to do for retirement, basically start moving. But I was dragging my feet for the first couple of days. And I kept hearing you in my head and seeing your fingers. It's an inside joke, y'all. It's an inside joke. So I kept hearing you. And one morning, while I was going about my regular morning routine, I said, I'm just going to do this right now. And I literally just, got on my phone and went to Vanguard and, went through their steps. And when it got to the point where it was like, how much do you want to fund it with? I couldn't think of how much I wanted at that time. Because again, I'm trying to get this coffee made, right? Coffee and cuddles, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, well, I'm just going to put $1 for right now so that I could check this off of my to-do list. So what I want to relay to your audience is that sometimes we know what we want to do, but it seems so much bigger in our heads, right? And it's like, oh, I'll just do that later. Later is not a time on the clock. And so I figured, well, while I'm making this coffee, let me just do this. And so, at least I was able to have the sense of accomplishment that I had opened this up.
Yeah.
So,
and how long did it take you to do it?
Less than 10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes.
Like you mentioned on your live last night, that was my introduction to you. You mentioned on your live that there was a person who was a trader. That was me. Yeah. So, as I've been going through this financial journey, trading came into my purview. And I was struggling because while I still think that there is a area for trading for me, when I met you, I was struggling because I'm like, this is just hard. Like, this is taking up a lot of time. There's got to be an easier way for me to implement utilizing the stock market, to use a broad term, that doesn't involve me day trading or swing trading. I need to get out of this echo chamber that I was in. Again, going back to, it's easy to fall down a rabbit hole and then feel like you have to be doing something. Now, to be clear, yes, we'll still continue trading, but also my introduction to you opened up the whole world of investing, which was crazy to me because I had been investing in my retirement account for a decade, over a decade. But I wasn't exactly paying attention to what I was doing over there.
That's why I say invest with ease is also for people who are already investing, but you don't really know what you're doing.
Even though I had been investing for over a decade, now this idea of trading was introduced, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, this is hard. And, as I begin to get better there, I'm also getting better in the investing side of things as well. That's why I was talking to you before about being in an echo chamber. You've got to broaden the messages that you're receiving so that you make sure that you find a way of financial management that coincides that rocks with your spirit.
Yeah. And that's aligned with your goals too.
And is aligned with your goals as well. For some people, that'll be investing. For some people, that'll be trading. For some people, it'll be real estate. For some people, it'll just be, putting their money into, CDs or putting it under their mattress. I wouldn't recommend that last one, but
right. Your goals, and also what I would call your investor identity.
Yeah, your investor identity. Right. That's a whole word, Malika.
Yes, your investor identity, because some people, they think about real estate as investing and as a way of building wealth, because it's usually touted as passive income. Owning rental property is not passive. Ask me how I know.
And that's the other thing. It is very easy when you are on this financial journey and you're learning from different resources to fall prey to the get rich quick.
So you mentioned being in the Invest with Ease coaching program, but you were also a trader already. So what led you to Invest with Ease, and what was that experience like?
What led me to you? The quick and dirty is I'm watching YouTube one day, and who knows what rabbit hole I went down that particular day, but I ended up watching one of your videos. I'm one of those types where I'm watching the video on television and I have my phone connected so that I can scroll through the comments. I'm scrolling through the comments and I see a familiar name, and it turns out to be a girl that I went to college with. I message out to her and I'm like, hey girl, hey, haven't seen you in 20 years, by the way. Do you know Malika? She was like, yeah, I know her. Fast forward, I started watching more of your videos, came across the video where you were interviewing her the same way you're interviewing me now. That tickles me so much, by the way.
Full circle moment.
So then I got more of a sense of who you were. Went to the website, saw some of the things that you offer. Again, I'm on this journey. I'm always willing to learn. And sometimes you will need to invest in your knowledge. You need to make a financial investment. So when I saw your coaching program, I thought, I want to learn this investment piece, because right now, I'm learning this trading piece, and this is taking a lot of my time, and I need something a bit easier. And maybe I'm in an echo chamber over here. Let's see what's going on over here as well. And that was when I reached out to you and I was like, hey, I think I'd like to take your course. But my concern was, at the time, I didn't know what the time commitment was going to be. And the nature of my day job is that I travel quite often. And I didn't want to sign up for a coaching program during a period that I knew I was about to be doing back-to-back travel for like 6 weeks straight. But, we managed to make it work, and if you will recall, there were a couple of times when I was calling you from the airport or connecting from the airport, rather.
Yes. And I think you missed one session, but because all the sessions are recorded,
I was able to catch the replay. Yeah. So that is how I came to know you. Why I chose you is what I expressed to you before. There are a lot of coaches that are offering programs, but I resonated with you on a variety of different levels. One, we're in a similar age group, so I felt like, I was interacting with, a sister friend.
A sister, right? And that's how I hope to come across. I am not an authority. I am not an expert. I'm just your sister.
Yeah, I didn't feel like in your videos you were, punching above your weight or punching down, right? And so I was like, oh, she seems cool. And then also you and I mean, it's just, sometimes it's really that simple.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? Love the locks, right? She seems cool.
By the way, I'm loving my hair. Y'all see how Watch my videos last year. My early videos, my hair was like this long when I first got it locked. Y'all see all this growth?
I started binge watching your videos.
Yes, I am loving my hair. But go ahead.
So, but at any rate, so my first impression of you was one, you have this added benefit of we have a friend in common, right?
Yeah.
So that lessens the distance between us, essentially. You ain't just some stranger on YouTube.
Mhm.
Um, and,
It does help.
your demeanor was
Mhm.
like, oh, she's cool. Like, I can see going out to brunch with her. Okay. But then also, you and I are, I don't want to say from the same area, but have lived in the same area for decades, right?
Yeah.
And so you know what this DMV life is like.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what these prices are looking like.
That part.
So I was like, okay, unlike some of these other people I'm seeing, she gets that part. She knows how expensive this area is, you know. But for me, the thing that took me over from should I take your course to I'm taking your course was hearing your story, you know. Now, we ain't going to revisit it because, I can't be congested and crying at the same time. But suffice it to say, your story about what you went through as a single parent resonated with me. I'm not a parent, but in that whole scenario, you spoke from what it was like as a single parent. I remember what it was like as a child in that situation, dealing with people who are looking right through you, don't see you as human, don't understand that you are out here trying to ask for help, and clearly they don't forgot what that feels like. So when I heard that story, I was like, oh yeah, this is where I'm going to put this money, because I feel like I'm talking to someone who would see me. And it's, damn it, I said I wasn't going to cry.
We
I
said
can't
we
cry
weren't
and be
doing
congested
it.
at the same time. Okay. That is why, Malika. That
Yeah.
is why.
Yeah. So let's lighten it a little bit. What was it like to receive coaching from me?
First off, I liked that it was a real intimate setting, because I knew that I was going to get my questions answered. And people who know me well know if I'm paying for something, I'm going to get my questions answered. And so,
I know now.
I like that the setting was intimate. You also took us through, literally step by step, and each session built upon the last. And so I know that you had some. Oh, and the other thing is, in our particular cohort, we ran the gamut from I don't even know how to spell stock market to, oh yeah, I know about the stock market. And so it's not lost on me that as a coach, you are having to tailor this interaction to individuals that are at varying states in their journey. And so I appreciated that sometimes you would add that caveat, hey, not trying to oversimplify this, but I'd like to tell you this. And you gave us context for why you were starting us at basics and basically moving us up through what we needed to know. You also held us accountable as well. That homework was homeworking. And so, you know, there was no, I'm going to recommend that you do this, and maybe we'll talk about it on the next session. No, you began those sessions with, so what's up with that homework I gave y'all last week?
In the next session, talking about that.
Right? And I've been in situations, whether it's workshops where they tell you to go home and research a purple grapefruit, and then you get to the next session and they don't ask you about the purple grapefruit. And I would sit there like, dag, I guess I'm not going to get caught because I didn't research the purple grapefruit. but you held us accountable to the purple grapefruit. And so the benefit was that you had a vision for where we were going. You knew before we did that this was going to culminate in us building an investment plan for ourselves, and that these individual sessions, in addition to the accompanying homework, was going to be crucial to that. So you held us accountable, which I could appreciate, you know,
All
and you
of
gave,
that
oh,
and
and
all of
you
that put
gave
together with the investment plan is basically the roadmap to your goals.
exactly. We say we want to be here. Going back to the difference between saying you're interested in or saying you're interested in something and being committed to it. We say we want to get here, but how committed are we?
Yeah,
Right. And
yeah.
so the additional thing that I appreciated from me in particular was I told you out the gate that given the nature of my job, I was afraid that I was going to miss some sessions. The fact that you already accounted for that so that you were recording the sessions and making them available for viewing after the fact, you basically solved a problem before I even entered the picture. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, here's my money.
Right. So all of the resistance that people have, I've already anticipated that, and I can fix that. I can address that. Oh, that's no problem either. And then the ultimate objection, I know a lot of people fear paying for coaching and thinking they're not going to get what they paid for.
Mm-hmm.
What's my guarantee? Do you remember
Hold on, give me a minute.
that?
I remember you guaranteeing that you would be committed to us for what was it, the 8-week process. Um, oh wait. Didn't you have a guarantee it was after the first session, if you felt like this wasn't for you, then they could reach out to you? I don't want to misstate your guarantee.
Yes, yes. Well, it was a two-part guarantee. Yes, you're mentioning one of them.
Okay.
After the kickoff meeting, if you feel like this is not for you, I'll give you a 100% refund. No question.
Mm-hmm.
So that's first. But after you complete the program, after you attend all 8 weeks and you are active and engaged in all of the sessions, you watch all of the videos if you have to miss a session, and you do all of the action items. If by the end of all of that, and you still don't know how to invest, if after all of that, you are still not clear and confident about how to achieve your financial goals, I will continue working with you for free. That's how confident I am.
How did I miss that? How did
You
I not
didn't miss
remember
that
that?
because I said it and you were like, wow. All of you were
I
like,
said, how did I not
wow.
remember that?
Yeah, how did you not remember that? Right. Yes, I will continue. That's how confident I am in my program, how thorough the program is, how effective the program is, but you have to do the work. So my
Yes.
guarantee is based on you doing the work. But if I have not fulfilled my part of the bargain, you've done the work and you still don't get it. That's a
Mm-hmm.
me problem. That's a coach problem. And I need to reevaluate myself to make sure you get what you need. So when you pay for coaching, because it is an investment, there is nothing to lose. There is no risk. I guarantee either number one, you'll get your money back if you decide this ain't for me, or number two, continue working with you until you get it. Right?
See, I told y'all she out here trying to save lives.
My best. I do
She
my
is saving lives and removing obstacles and objections. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Would you say has improved for you as a result of coaching with me?
Well, I think that the most immediate thing that approved for me was it was revealed in our sessions that I was just trying to do too much at
Mm,
one time. You know, I had all of these things that I wanted to do as it relates to short-term goals, midterm goals, and long-term goals. And I thought that I was being, what's the word I want to use? I thought that I was handling them in an ideal way.
Mhm.
Well, the quickest way to determine that maybe your ideal way is not ideal is when you're having to explain it to someone and they're giving you this look. Wait. And there were a couple of times when I was explaining to you what I wanted to do, and you would go, so hold on for a moment. And you would make me explain it again. And that's when I begin to think, well, maybe this is not as clear as I think it is, in which case, am I making this process more complicated than it needs to be? So the most immediate thing that I got from your coaching was clarity. And it forced me to rethink how I was contributing to my various goals, the method that I was using, because at one point, solely trading. And
No.
that was a game changer for me because, you know, this journey is not something that's going to happen overnight. And you don't want to suffer death by 1,000 cuts by being constantly stressed at managing your finances. And this is a marathon. You're going to burn yourself out.
Mhm.
So the most immediate thing I got from you was clarity. The other thing is that you helped me to think about some things in different ways. For example, when I entered your coaching program, I wanted to save a 1-year emergency fund. And for me, that would have been $50,000.
Okay.
You said to me, can you help me understand why you feel you need $50,000? And I rattled off a reason that made sense to me. And you hit me with so let me make sure I understand. And so you're laughing so hard because you remember. You said, let me make sure I understand. And so we had this conversation and you kept forcing me to drill down. And then when you said, while you can understand why I wanted to have such a large emergency fund, that if I think of my money as employees, I always want to make sure that my employees are working as effectively as they could. So while you are not telling me to not have a 1-year emergency fund, I may want to think about whether or not, if I do, are those employees working as effectively as they could be? I said, that's a whole word. I hadn't thought about it in that way because I was thinking about it from the standpoint of, I don't know what's going on in this world, and I just need to be ready for anything. Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean you should do what is equivalent to putting a large chunk of money under a mattress to be ready for anything.
I don't tell you what to do with your money. I
You
just help you
absolutely do not.
think through other ways of looking at it.
I realized in that moment I was reacting off of emotion.
Yeah.
That my decision to save 1 year as opposed to 6 months, as opposed to 3 months, was an emotional decision, and it wasn't as thought out as I thought it was.
Yeah. So what have you decided to do? Do you mind sharing that?
6 months.
6 months. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
And
And
I am at 5.5 months now.
us? And so what are
Ow.
you going to do with the extra once you get to that 6 months?
So I've decided once I finish the 6 months, I am then going to redirect the money that I was putting in my emergency fund into my newly opened Roth IRA.
Woo, woo,
I'm
woo.
now contributing more money to my 403B, but I'm not feeling it. The discretionary income that was going towards my emergency fund will now go to my Roth IRA. And money that I make with my reselling side hustle, I'll use it to fund my trading account. And then I will trade. And if I am successful, then I can put those earnings into this extra fund money, fund pot reserve.
Okay. Love it. I love it. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. As I always say, if you're on this journey to financial independence, continue learning and continue investing so you will also be able to live what you love. All right. Bye for now.